Hi guys, we're at the Santa Paula Junkyard and I have Travis here with me. What are we looking for today?
So nothing in particular. I haven't been here probably in like 4 or 5 months. This yard's way different than Sun Valley. It doesn't have an app, a lot less modern trucks, but there is still a lot of cool stuff here. Basically how it works is it's American over here, foreign over there, and then it goes from car slowly drifting into trucks and SUVs. So I figured there's probably some stuff we can talk about, just plow on. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So obviously I'm a big GM guy, but there are a lot of other GM engines I want to start playing around with. One of which is the LE5, which is a 2.4 liter Ecotec. That's the big Ecotec. There's like the LSJ supercharged one, LTG turbocharged one, 2 liter, a L61, which is the 2.2, which is most everything. And then some of the cars got 2.4s, which is, this happens to be these two. So this one's mostly missing and dropped. And then this one is fully complete. But these are the later 2000, that one's an 07, this is probably 07, 08, but it's got VVT, so I haven't fully looked into exactly which ones to get. I think the early ones, but one thing you can notice is that, it's funny, so this actually says 07, 211,000 miles, 50, like you can see exactly, you know, how much was in this, you know, in this motor. And then this, you can tell because, so in 2007 and 2008 is when GM had the badges of excellence. So if you're trying to identify, so Santa Paula doesn't do what Sun Valley does, where they have those stickers, where they have a bunch of information in the van, everything printed easy, so you can do more like searching. And then these have the RPO code list in the glove box, like the trucks, but a lot of the cars have them underneath the spare tire cover, and a lot of that time that's missing. So yeah, I don't have all the information about all the four banger stuff, but yeah, I guess we'll keep walking around. I don't want to get one of these yet, like maybe later. All right, so like I was talking about over there, so here we have the RPO code list. We've got L61 and obviously 2.2. So the 2.2 is the most common Ecotec motor by far, and then the 2.4 LE5 was like an option for most of this stuff. So here's something way sick. So 5.7 Hemi, like right at the front, but if you notice, it really doesn't have any body damage. Like this bumper bar is totally fine, and yeah, really no damage. And these things drop valve seats, these things give a bunch of issues, but I think motors here are only probably like $300. So this thing is totally worth yanking and pulling. We're not gonna do it now, but yeah, this thing is totally worth yanking and pulling, just having. Yeah, we got wheel spacers on it. Yeah, I don't see any damage at all. The plugs are out of it, so maybe somebody tried to spin it. But I've seen a few of these in yards, and they either have drop valve seats and destroyed pistons, and then another one that we pulled out of the yard had spun bearing. Like we pulled the heads off in the yard to be like, oh, the valve seat's good, and they were good, and then we flip it over, spun bearing. So yeah, I can't get in there to spin it, but yeah, this is here, like, so that's super cool. So extremely excited about this. Now we will officially be taking something home. So here we have an 04 Impala SS supercharged L67. And I specifically need these injectors. So my favorite injector is the EV1. That's what the 4th gens used. I don't have any of my old 4th gen stuff anymore. So these are 36-pound EV1 long injectors. So if I can pull them all, I have 6. I need 2 more, so hopefully I can find another one and collect them. But I don't know how hard it's gonna be to pull the rail off, or if you have to pull the blower off, and those ones are really deep in there. But yeah, this thing is actually super cool, and it's like some Indianapolis version or something. It's got like badges. So yeah, we got all this cool stuff. It's got heated seats. It's a really, really cool car. Probably got a bajillion miles on it. But yeah, let me see how we can pull this fuel rails and see if I can get 6 out of the 8 injectors I need. So good news. Found a bolt here, found 3 bolts here, and the rail is in fact moving. I've got like the evap purge solenoid that's stuck here, and then I haven't gone to that side yet, but I'm just hoping I can pull the rail and then pull the injectors out without having to pull the blower. All right, cool, so I got the rest of them off in the back. Shoot, I don't have the tool to get these off, I'll cut them. But let's see, does it move? Yeah, these ones are out. I can probably pull these off here before I break them off. Dude, these things are super dirty, so definitely have to be cleaned. But yeah, so here we've got EV1, which is my favorite injector plug, and these are 36-pounders. So GM is really annoying, where they were really stingy about their injectors. Only the cars ever got EV1 plugs. The trucks were the mini Delphi, the Multec 2 or whatever they're called, and then they were only 25 pounders. So even, I'm pretty sure like a stock 6 liter is at like 90% duty cycle stock. And the F body cars got like 29 pound, and those are the ones that I no longer have. And then, like I said, the supercharged 3.8 came with 35 EV1s. And so now I have, well, assuming I can get those out, I'll have 6. I just have to find another one to pull number 2. 4. 5. 6. Cool. So I have 6 out of 8 35 pound EV1s. And I didn't have to rip anything apart. I didn't cut anything. I used all tools. I could have done this a lot, you know, more aggressive, but so the blower's still intact for everybody else that wants it. So here's something really cool. We have a, I guess technically 4th gen Nova, since there's 2 gens in the first setup. So we don't know what year it is. It's probably not a 75. It started in 75. I don't see any sort of identifier for year, and I don't know any of them. It has a 250 inline 6, but Alec was saying that in 75 they all had the integrated manifold, so you can't tell that way. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Here, 78. I think that's what that means. So yeah, it's a 78. It's a sedan. It's really cool. These things are really weird though, because they're technically 2nd gen F bodies, because the 68 to 74 generation of Nova was a 1st gen F body. So this entire subframe swaps into a 70 to 81 Firebird and Camaro. And then the one thing that's really good about these is that they technically came with 8.5-inch rear ends, which is the rear end that came in the stronger, the better 10 bolt starting in 71 in the F body. So you can buy this rear end and swap it into a 68 to 74 1st gen Nova, and it's way cheaper than actually doing a 12 bolt. And then I've talked on the old channel about how much I love the 8.5, but yeah, anybody who has a 68 to 74 Nova and wants a stronger axle and doesn't want to spend $3-4 grand, grab one of these. These used to be in yards all over the place, and then you were saying what, these used to be cop cars?
Yeah, they had a cop package, and they handled pretty good for the time because they started caring about handling back then, but they were famous for having absolutely no rear leg room.
You just put the perps long ways.
I'm holding the camera eye level because I am incredibly tall.
No leg room.
Yeah.
So not recommended for just anybody. Alec, can you squeeze in there?
I could try, but I'm not going to.
I think you could try. There's like some...
If there's something I've learned about this yard, if it's a cool car, it's cut in something. Like, some of these are really, really nasty.
This one has kitty paws.
So this is a later Mark 8. You can tell by the headlights that actually put out light, unlike the earlier ones that look better. And it's got the 4-valve 4.6, which was the Cobra motor for the first 2 years before they slapped a blower on it.
And this is OBD2. Oh yeah, this is OBD2, right?
Yeah. Okay. So the headlights are 97 and up. So
and this is made like what, at least 300 horsepower.
Oh, these things were huge. The earlier one, they ran a nearly bone stock one at Bonneville, ran 186.
So that means, is this motor basically the same thing that's in like the unblown?
Yes.
What is it? The 0102 SVT, and then the Mach 1 for 03 and 04?
Yeah, it's actually technically better because the earlier ones had a stronger block, just a little bit. And this was actually the first car to get these.
And this is aluminum. Yeah, it was because it was only, I think it's only the 5.4 supercharged that's iron.
Yeah. So yeah, these things were big, spicy, and they have, you know, electrical issues because they're an electric car from the 90s, but
so unassuming.
So cool. They look like a soap bar, unfortunately, but that's 90s Ford.
And what color is this? It looks pink.
Old man.
Yeah, old man beige.
Old man pink.
So naturally, I'm drawn to the 4th gens. This is a V6 early car, so there's nothing good about it. But I see a Catfish, a later car, so see anything weird. So right off the bat, every single 98 to 02 car had the exact same brakes. So I've talked about these in old videos. These brakes swap onto any GM axle, like with the standard GM flange. So that's a really cheap, easy way to get brakes, disc brakes rather. The front ones also swap, but you have to use drum hubs cut down. I have a set of those. I've never installed them, but like if we do that Monza, like we'll just slap all of these on.
Spoilers.
And then I'm pretty sure this is that same one that's been here for a while, you think?
Oh, dude, there's so many. Like last time I was here, I think I counted 14.
Just because this is a 5-speed.
Oh.
And I remember there being a pewter 5-speed here. So this is a pewter 5-speed. It's missing like the shifter and stuff.
And I kind of whiffed that.
Pewter T5 5-speed with 3.8.
You can tell by the shifter and the pedals that are both missing.
Yeah, I really want to put this exact drivetrain in something. And then this is technically, I haven't confirmed if it's possible. I think you can put this T5 behind the LS4 because they have the same Buick.
Oh, they got the 60 degree or metric or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's got the really weird 3.8 pattern. That's what the LS4 has. So I think in theory you can put this T5, granted this T5 will not live behind the LS4. I was gonna say. But yeah, maybe one day I'll yank this whole setup and then see what I can do with it.
Is it a world-class T5 or a regular T5?
I couldn't tell you. So I think I have a really good idea. We should go get the blower off of the other 3800 and put it on this with the 5-speed. So 5-speed, it's technically, so in Australia, they sold, I forget all the nomenclature, but there's the V6 supercharged in the Commodores. So they did in fact put, you know, that blower M90s on these in rear-wheel drive. The thing is though, is that, so the throttle body is here on this, but on the supercharged cars, it's backwards. So technically the throttle body comes out this way, so you have to have some weird like neck thing, and especially in this car, it's really hard. But people have in fact done it where they've had supercharged V6 Camaros. The problem is that they make as much power as like a stock LS, so it's kind of really not worth it, especially since you have all this room up here and you're not doing, you know, and you're trying to do stuff back there. But you know, it's an idea I've always wanted to do, and you know, I've found several 5-speed 3800 Camaros, so maybe we'll pull one day. So HHRs have always been my guilty pleasure. Like I said, they come with LE5s. I really want to do an LE5 5-speed one, and then preferably get a panel, or maybe not, but maybe a panel, and then cut it into a pickup truck. And then actually, you know what? I don't think we can get these back doors open because they're electronic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's permanently closed now because yeah, the doors do exist. It's not actually like fully sealed off panel. But yeah, I think they only open electronically. So one thing that's always kind of made me sad is I noticed a lot in junkyards, especially one time in Bakersfield, there was an 06 DeVille or STS that was literally perfect condition. So Northstar powered things are like worthless used. So you find a lot of like totally perfect and probably not broken Northstar powered things. So I wish there was something you could do with these. I know recently I saw some 50s thing had a Northstar front end, you know, front swap and everything. That was pretty cool. So here's something you'll find in yards. So every single Z28 from a 4th gen is a V8. That's what that means. So you've got Z28 badges that have been on here for a while because it's all sticky on there, and then V6. And then right across from it, we have a Cobra bumper, right? These Cobra bumpers?
I think it's like more of a Celine bumper, but it could be anything.
Yeah, better bumpers on just a GT car. So yeah, there's a lot of up badging in yards. You get excited, and then you're like, oh wait, no, of course.
Yeah, Fiero body panels can be completely unbolted leading to cart-like situations.
It literally is a C8 Corvette.
The easy way to tell, this one's unfortunately too gutted, but the later cars had the speakers on the pillar right over there. The early cars had them in the headrest, which is way cooler. But they were Iron Duke or 2.8, which is a funny way of saying absolutely no power. And they only made them good for 88 when they canceled them.
I so wish GM would have just kept the RPO code just like literally here. You don't have to like go and find it if it's missing. So I got really excited because I'm like, oh hell yeah, LT1 car, but it's a 4.3.
Oh, those are...
yeah, this thing's not really worth anything to anybody.
What size 4.3? Is that like a 260?
262.
That was for the month. I think they came out with that actually.
All right, so I normally don't spend anywhere near that much time in the car section, but yeah, so now we're in truck, so now it should hopefully actually get interesting. So one thing significant about this yard is that it's much cheaper than Sun Valley. Obviously there's a lot less good stuff, but there is an LS here. So if you're looking for just a 5.3 and not trying to get a 6.0 or an aluminum 5.3, this is a much better place to come. Granted, this one's already opened up and stuff, and it's, I said, yeah, just a 5.3, but I think there's another couple of ones over there. We'll see what's all here. Technically, I want the bell housing. Is the trans here? Oh no, the trans is gone. One thing I do want from one of these, and if I can find it, I'll take it. I want to get a 4L60E bell housing to use for my run stand, so that way I can get my LS1 T56 bell housing back so I can actually use it. Obviously, LS1 T56 bell housings are much more valuable than a 4L60E bell housing. So you can see in this row alone, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 GMT 100s, 4 LSs. This one's obviously super melty. Trans is gone. This one, yeah, seems to be totally complete. That one, the motor's gone. That one, the motor's gone. So there are, in fact, LSs even in this yard where they're only like $300. And I see another one right there too. So, you know, they do exist here. So yeah, and also I'm kind of bummed this trans is gone because I want to try to find one that's already been maybe I'll find it, probably not. So here's another example of a motor I want to build. So this is a 99 3/4 ton GMT 400. I think it's technically a GMT 430. I think that's what they called them. So we have an L31 vortec small block. L31 is the RPO code. What's significant about this is that it's obviously the roller, vortec heads, which I would take off, but they're still better than whatever would be on it anyway. But what I like is that, so these have a counter spinning water pump that I want to play around with. Obviously none of the serpentine is here, but it's got a serpentine system that spins the water pump backwards. So I've been thinking about a way to make a small block Chevy accessory system that is only over here and won't throw V-belts. And then also this motor specifically is cool because it's a 4-bolt main. So the 2-bolt main was half ton, 4-bolt main was 3/4 ton. So yeah, to build a small block, this is basically the best thing you could start with. And also the water pumps. So what's interesting is that the later vortec block, and then they had the counter spinning water pump. The bypass is external, which is these two guys. So you have to just loop these. I was thinking about like taking this apart, seeing if you could cap or whatever, just to get this, you know, out of the way. But I'm pretty sure you can literally just loop from here to here to delete the heater. But and then yeah, see if I can find these in aluminum. But yeah, so you can't technically throw this water pump on a standard small block because it's got that extra little hole that's down here that doesn't exist. You can see it right down in there. You can see there's literally, the gasket is still there because it's just a universal gasket, but obviously the block and the water pump doesn't have the internal bypass. But yeah, this is just ideas in my head, and you know, it's depending on how things go. I'll probably start buying more different motors and see what I can do with them. So basically, this actually has exactly what I was just talking about. This setup actually looks pretty similar to an LS. Obviously, it was what eventually turned into the LS setup. So you have, like I said, the water pump spins backwards. The alternator sits up here on this bracket, and then it has an actual tensioner. So yeah, tensioner like that, and then the AC and the power steering sit over here. So I would just delete this half and then only have the belt running on this half. But you know, if I play around with an L31, I'll see what I can do with that. And yeah, I think it'll work pretty well. So this is really awesome. GMT 800 8-lug. So this either would have had a 6.0 or 8.1. So let me check the RPO. Yeah, so L18. So that means this thing was an 8.1 truck, and then obviously a 4L80 truck too. And then two-wheel drive 4L80. So somebody scored on this 4L80 because it would have been, what, you said like 150 bucks? I think that's what they cost. So yeah, somebody scored on a really cheap two-wheel drive because it's obviously the same for big block and small block. But yeah, so this stuff is in this yard.
Yeah, the best one I'd seen before this was those two 4th gen F bodies, the WS6 and the Z28 or whatever, where someone got two T56s for 300 bucks total. That was kind of impressive, not gonna lie.
So this is the kind of stuff you see in yards. This is a inline triple 2-stroke Polaris jet ski engine. I think it's jet ski. Yeah, but the biggest engine. I don't know why this is here, but this thing is super awesome. I know these things sound super cool too. If this was a Yamaha triple, like the 1100, I would have taken it by now. The 701 Yamaha and the 1100 Yamaha triples are like two of my favorite engines that they ever made. But yeah, the Polaris stuff, not as good as the Yamaha. So at the very end of the yard, there's these two guys. Alec has been sending me photos of this thing forever.
I'm a huge Colonnade fan.
Than I do. He's super into the Colonnade stuff. So.
Yeah, it's the best A-body, and I will get shot for that. But had the good rear axle. Didn't look as good, but that's okay. It made up for it with nearly everything else. And what hurts about this 77 El Camino, besides the fact it's a small year and you know it's in the yard, is that it has the extremely rare, relatively, obviously they made a bunch of these cars, but how many are left? You know, when was the last time you saw one? The round gauge dash. And everybody wants those for all their, you know, bar speedometers. I like bar speedometers, I'm a weirdo, but there's nothing salvageable. But it does have the SS shift knob, so. So we're on our way back to the front, and then we're technically in the, I guess, foreign yard, foreign area, but I guess there's actually not a lot of non-foreign here. So there's a handful of Trailblazers, so hoping maybe there's an LM4. Doubt it, but there's one that was on fire, and I was like, oh, that's an L4, I'm gonna cry. Oh, this is pretty cool, mail truck. And then Alec was saying if they're on the end, they supposedly sell them to you.
I've only known you guys a little bit, but that I mean a lot.
So, have you ever been in one of these?
No.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Obviously, there's that LS swap one that goes to all the events.
I've been in more cop cars than these things.
And for whatever reason, the column's missing and the motor's missing too. But
It's
yeah,
an
this thing's
S10.
awesome. Is it? I guess is it an
It's
S10?
literally an early S10 with an iron tube.
Yeah, I know it had a 2.8.
Well, no, iron tube. It had the 2.5.
Oh,
That's why
okay.
they sound like they do. But
Yeah.
what's cool
Taking
is
a mail truck
and-
down?
they suck ass in the snow is because they have a narrow front track, so they turn tighter.
Got it.
It's actually really good engineering for something that they drove with 20. So they called the Grumman LLV, which is long life vehicle. They were designed to be used for 25 years. The first ones came out in about 85 or so. So 2010 they were supposed to be done, and they're only just getting replaced.
Yeah. And then yeah, I like all
You can
the.
keep it in your backyard, right, Alex?
I like the demo plate.
Yeah, I guess it would be like a decorative.
So I guess I'll talk a little bit about non-US. So I've always had a soft spot for N52s. This is cool. It's a 128 6-speed car. So it's funny that these things, and it's got coilovers. It's funny that these things, so these things were like new when I was in high school. It's funny seeing that like stuff that I was new when I was in high school was super hot is now in this, it's so worthless. It's in the Santa Paula yard. So I found out something I could do a little bit of education with. So in this bin, for some reason, there's an old 700. So what's interesting is though is that it's a E because it's got the thing. You can tell it's a 700/60E because it has the the second gear servo there, the removable thing there. I think this is an F-body one because it's got the mounts for the. I think those are the mounts for the torque arm. But what's interesting is that it's early because it doesn't have a removable bell housing. That's what I'm actually trying to look for is the complete removable bell housing. I saw this in here. I'm like, oh, a 700, and then or 60E. And then I saw on the other side, you can see that it has the inspection plate instead of having the removable bell housing. I was like, oh wait, it's an 80E. It's like, oh wait, no, duh. It's the early one that still had the one-piece bell housing and not the two-piece bell housing. All right, so that's Santa Paula yard. Glad I got, I left with something. I got my 6 injectors, $13 each, much less than brand new stuff. And then I grabbed some steam vent line for the run stand. But yeah, so next time we're gonna do Sun Valley next. Sun Valley also goes through a lot more cars and inevitably buy a motor. Well, I might be selling one tomorrow, so I wanna make some more space. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know if we'll come back here for a while because like I said, the inventory all stays the same. But yeah, look forward to a lot of Sun Valley stuff and probably buying a motor every time we go to Sun Valley.
Okay, so Travis doesn't have a stick anymore, which is a problem. Don't marry a man without a stick.